So I remember playing this game where we had this frog which could actually go up, down, left, right, and you need to cross obstacles to get to the uh, other side and stuff. So there were cars and stuff where you had to go through. Sometimes it's a frog, sometimes it's something else. So I got this couple of assets out here and trying to just rebuild the same kind of a mechanics. So you've got the frog out here which can go up, right, left, down. It can go over the bridge. But the problem is it can even go over the water, which is something we do not want to happen. So to fix that, we've got an object created out here, which is the object splash zone. So we're going to use this object to detect if the frog is colliding with the splash zone. So this is our room out here, and I'm going to quickly go ahead and place this object. I'm going to use the instance blocker layer out here. Okay, I think we've done a good job there. So basically what we're going to do is when we have the frog out here, and once the frog is over this water out here, over this object out here, not like this or this, because we're going to give a little bit of leverage out here to the player. So if the frog is like this, we don't want it to like trigger a game reset. So we're only going to trigger a reset if the frog is over the water like this. So if you look at the frog out here, if you look at the hitbox of the frog, so this is the entire frog image out here, pretty large one. This is the frog out here, but only this black rectangle is the hitbox. So we only want to trigger a reset if the frog's hitbox is completely inside the splash zone. That is our objective out here. So I'll just do Control Z, bring the frog back, zoom out a bit, and just to make it easier, let me go ahead and just make the hitbox of the frog visible. To do that, I would have to go to the player out here. I'll just create a draw event. Yeah, draw event. I want to code it for sure. So I want to draw self. So we have the image drawing first and reset stuff. So whatever alpha we set, we will reset it. Draw underscore set underscore color color be less underscore blue. Let's just keep it black, I think. And draw underscore set underscore alpha 0.5. So I'm just reducing the alpha for now, and I will also reset this out here, set it back to 1 and set it back to white. So we're just going to make the hitbox visible by drawing a rectangle over the hitbox. So draw underscore rectangle, and we are going to set the X position to be the, so basically to detect a hitbox we use the BBOX thing. So BBOX, bottom, left, right, top, these are the coordinates that we have. So we want the X to be the BBOX left and the BBOX top, and the Y, so basically the top position of the box and the bottom position of the box. So BBOX, what am I typing? Yeah, BBOX right and BBOX bottom is what we want. And I think there was one more variable that is needed. Yeah, outline. We don't want an outline for this. So that's it. So now if you run the game, we should be able to see a sort of black color box over the frog. So that's our hit zone showing now. So this is, so basically whenever our hit zone is completely submerged into over the water, that is when we want the reset to happen. So yeah, so let's code this. I think the best place to code this would be where is the player object first? I keep on losing the objects. Oh, I'm already in the player object. Sorry. So we've got the step event out here, and I think we've got the entire movement mechanics in the step event, which is pretty huge stuff, to be frank. It took me a while to get this thing sorted. So what I'm going to do is we're going to touch the step event. Step event is basically the movement happening and all that. Let's just keep it there. Once the step event ends, let's use that to detect if you're over the water. And so let's go to the step event. Let's go to the end step event. Once the step event has run. So one more thing I would like to show you is we're using a little bit of state mechanics out here. So we've got a couple of states for the frog. So basically the idle state, the frog is not moving at all. The start jump, just when he's starting to jump and he's already started to jump, then he's in the air and then he's landed. And after landing, he switches back to the idle state. So that's the entire state, and there's a whole bunch of code written to get that state working. And yeah, so we're not going to talk about the movement bit. If you are interested in that, let me know. I'll go ahead and explain how we get the frog moving. But for now, let's just work on the mechanics to detect if the frog is completely over the water where we do the reset. So for that, let's just go ahead and first check if the frog state, if state is equal to frog underscore, sorry, flog would not be the right word for this. Frog state dot idle. So you make sure that the frog is idle. Make sure that the frog is idle and not jumping. So now we want to go ahead and check if the player is, if the position of the player is over a water splash zone. So let's see, is where splash zone is equal to instance underscore place. So I'm just using this to check if the origin of the frog is anywhere inside a splash zone. So yeah, so the player's X position, the player's Y position is having anything to do with OBJ splash zone. So now we want to detect if the player is completely submerged inside the water. So where underscore splash, let's just say is underscore submerged is equal to, so our condition is going to be, so if you go to the player out here, say imagine this is the hitbox and it's visible. So if the player is absolutely inside, so basically the bottom of the hitbox is less than the bottom of the splash screen, less than equal to, the right is greater than equal to, and the left, sorry, the right is greater than, less than equal to, so it needs to be less than the edge out here, and the left needs to be greater than equal to, and the top needs to be, obviously since we're going up, it needs to be more than the X, the Y top of the splash screen. So a little complicated, but you should remember this is the 0. So if the thing is coming down, it needs to be greater than from the vertical point, and it needs to be less than the bottom point. It needs to be X goes like this, 0 is out here, it increments when we go towards the right. So right, left, from the left it needs to be greater, and from the right it needs to be less than equal to. So keeping that in mind, let's quickly go ahead and code this before even I mess this up. A little confusing there, but yeah. So for that, we are going to check the BBOX. BBOX is basically the hitbox of both the splash zone and the player. So BBOX underscore left. So left has to be greater than equal to BBOX splash, sorry, underscore, okay, we're just calling it splash zone again, is underscore submerged. Oh yeah, sorry, is submerged underscore splash zone dot bbox left. That's our condition, not comma, and then you put an and, sorry, put an and in the next line, and you just copy this, and the right will have to be less than equal to. Then we've done this, the left and right is done. Now we need to look at the top and the bottom. We just copy this, put an and out here, and make this top. So the top out here, so BBOX top would need to be greater than the BBOX top of the splash zone, and the bottom would need to be less than equal to. If all our conditions are true, if underscore is submerged is equal to true. So basically, if I don't say anything, it's going to be true by default. It's just like saying is equal to true. This is just like a shorthand way of saying it. So if it's submerged, we're just going to like show underscore debug underscore message. We're going to say that I am drowning, and we just hide this message because we don't want this to confuse us anymore. So once I am completely inside the splash zone, that is when okay, what did I make a mistake? I just not said before reading it. OBJ splash zone. Okay, I did a typo out here. Sorry. Copy paste error. So now the game should be running, and okay, I think I need to move the player back a bit because
a few moments later.
And now let's try it out. So I should only get the message if I'm completely inside the water. Now I'm actually moving towards the water. I'm a little bit inside the water, a little bit outside the water. I'm not getting anything out here in the output. I can go left. I can climb over the bridge. No issues there. I can go right and climb back. No issues there. But if I just jump into the water now, I am drowning. Because the hitbox of the frog now is completely inside the hitbox of the splash zone. So at this point, I can just do a game reset. So I think I have an object out here, game over. I can have that displayed. That'll be just like a cool thing to end the video out here. So obj player, if submerged, we have I think a variable on the top is destroyed is equal to false. We don't want the animation to keep on showing up, so we're using a variable on the top. If not destroyed, only then we do this check. We end the bracket out here. Just cleaning up the code a bit. It's always good option to clean the code. So this is gonna happening is drowning. So we quickly go ahead and say is destroyed is equal to true, and instance underscore ins underscore create layer x y, wherever I'm going to create it. It doesn't actually matter because the game over screen will use the camera and it automatically centers itself based on the camera position. So we don't need to bother about the coordinates out here. And the layer would be I think I'll use this layer right on the top. It gives it nice room to breathe there. So it's going to show up above everything. Generally you would actually use a UI layer for this, but I'm just quickly going ahead and making this obj j underscore game underscore over, and we also want to set the alpha. Yeah, let's just keep it like that. Yep, if we go now, I can go up, I can go left, I can go right, I can go over the bridge, I can go down, I can jump in, and we have gone over, and the game restarts. Okay, so that was how we actually go ahead and create detect if the object is completely inside another object. So we could use this as a dead zone, a win zone kind of thing. So in this case I'm using it for the river, but that's the way we can actually go ahead and get done. If this was helpful, put a thumbs up there, and yeah, subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.